This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. It was a nightmare.
Flight 807, you're clear for landing. Runway 7, Bravo.
All personnel report to the nearest tornado shelter. This is not a drill.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and many blessings to you this holiday season. Welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made in this week. Now, as usual, I'll give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made in first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, something that's going on in the community, or maybe some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it in. So let's waste no time, folks. Oh, yeah. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Whatever happened with Gerard's speed cameras? A settlement of $175,000 has been reached in Gerard's speed camera saga. I don't know if some people remember it. The lawsuit covered 7,700 motorists who received tickets for speeding due to the speeding camera. Now, what got this story in is the priority factor. Law enforcement officials are learning a valuable lesson, because if 7,700 people received a ticket, then that means that 7,700 people were speeding. And that's what it proved. Now, this data alone is creating some heated debates about an underpaid profession that is often criticized when enforcing the law. And that speeding ticket thing proves it. Now, reality is really heartbreaking every time a legal story makes the front page news. That's because it's a reality. That's why story number 1 made it this week. Story number 2, a front page lead risk story, lead poisoning risk story, could really be informative. Child development is everything. A story about a home daycare made headlines after the home, according to the article, was supposed to be vacant. The home was supposed to be vacant because of lead paint. Now, officials notified the property owner, and the daycare was then shut down. Now, after a plagued past, including, I'm sure we all remember the Flint, Michigan case of this is all of dealing with lead poisoning. This story is yet another eye-opener on how we all can get informed about lead poisoning. The silent killer is not knowing. So what we don't know could hurt us. That's why story number 2 made it this week. Story number 3. Lordstown tries to move forward. There's a lot going on in the car industry, if you haven't noticed. And at the moment, Lordstown is doing global business like they've been doing for a while. Now, this one talking point is what got this story in. The area has some major tech and electric vehicle companies in the area trying to do business or already doing business. Now, on December 8th, Lordstown made headlines again because of a Taiwanese electronics giant. They plan to buy the electric vehicle manufacturing plant. So this is all taking place. Now, this is a report by Ron Selek Jr., a staff writer for The Vindicator. So Ron Selek Jr. reported on this. Now, what is keeping these Lordstown stories alive are the major investments taking place in the area. Lordstown stories have been very consistent and look to stay that way headed into the new year. So that's why story number 3 made it this week. Story number 4, jingle belling along. Story number 4, the chill can story is still alive. Big headline. The legal battle continues in Youngstown over what to do about the stalled chill can story. The fight for the factory that was supposed to be in full operation by now with the world's only chill can has now evolved into a full-fledged legal fight. It may never take place. The chill can will never be here. Now, one front page local Vindicator article focuses on a tax break of $55,000 if this story stays alive with no progress. at all. It could get ugly, folks. That's why story number 4 made it this week. Story number 5. Youngstown law director job is in the spotlight. Jeff Libyan and his position as law director have been, well, this story has been in the headlines for quite a few headlines lately, quite a bit for quite a long time. Jeff Libyan has been in a lot of headlines this year. Now, the ability for him to do the job is what has the story still trending. Suggestions for the position to be decided by voters. That means if voters would decide who's in that seat instead of the mayor has also made some suggestion news. That's mean they're trying to figure out some solutions to this problem. The mayor appoints the law director. Now, at the moment, Mr. Libyan seems to be the underdog with his back against the wall. Now, one recent article points out how a number of council members do not feel that Jeff Libyan is fit for his job. Now, this story is still developing, and we'll see how it turns out. Story number 5. Story number 6. How is Youngstown doing in the crime fight? 27 homicides as of December 12th. Youngstown is still making major headlines when it comes to setting the standards on how a city with a high crime rate handles their crime problems. Now, the strategy to get through the holiday is, I guess they have a new strategy to blend cops in with ordinary people to fight crime. We'll see how that turns out. Now, the good thing about this story is the effort that to show that taxpayers and everybody and all city residents, to show these people that the city is trying to do something about crime to stop the influx of it in the city. Now, the story is still developing. That's why I made it this week. Story number 7 and the top 2 local headlines and developing news story that made in this week. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night. Story number 7. Spirit, Christmas spirit. Focusing on the bigger picture locally, as surrounding districts focus on income, budget cuts, and delinquencies, property taxes, and other sources of income. Sources to increase the city's revenue. Not just income, but to increase the city's revenue seem to be the topic of discussion. One front page story states that Youngstown owes taxes on 150 partials. Now, a number of people and prominent officials made the list right along with the city's amphitheater. Now, when focusing on the bigger picture, everyone is talking money in the COVID-19 crunch. So everybody's talking about the mighty dollar. This story is still developing. That's why it made it to the top 2 this week. Story number 8 and the top local headline and developing news story that made it in this week. For the slave is our brother. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. The weary world rejoicing. Christmas, holy, holy. Story number 8. How is the Valley doing in the COVID-19 fight? That includes education, teachers calling off, a shortage of substitutes, children, including teens, with idle time. That's not good. That's calling in the devil. Evil. Something bad happened with idle time. Now, this is what the ongoing COVID-19 stories have caused, all this COVID-19 madness. Now, for anyone well informed about what goes on in cities plagued by poverty and violence, this could really show that the Valley has been fighting from all angles in the category of COVID-19 and COVID-19. Well, they've been fighting from all battles, period, but COVID-19 may have made it worse. Now, this is another story that is still developing because the Valley has to put up a fight. Well, I don't want to put too much violence into Christmas, but somebody's got to beat this COVID-19. We got to get through it. We got to fight it. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories. You're in the Mediator with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
City of hope, the city of hope, the city of hope.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment And don't forget to show us some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
Just like you made a choice to get this coin, you will have to make a choice to pass life into this world.
We have no hope, Precious. Look at us. We're both high-class girls with little-class lives.
Precious, be encouraged. Your life is about to change.
No, I didn't think maybe I just woke up and it was gone.
It seems you're pregnant, young lady.
There's a crowd right there! There's one food on us! You're out of control!
If I let you in, you must undo this mistake.
Even if you are pregnant, I'm gonna throw you down the flight of freaking stairs if I gotta get rid of this baby.
Okay, Walter. Okay, I'll get rid of the baby.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week, folks. Well, it's that time of year and I'll never forget my friend Teresa, man. She has, well, we still know to this day, Teresa has some bad kids. But Santa Claus came through last Christmas, and that might be why everybody's so down this year, because he came down that chimney and one of Teresa's sons got a hold to the gun. And he's some bad children. Stick 'em up, Santa! Put your hands up! I come downstairs because, I used to date Teresa. Me and her used to get along real well around this time of year. So I come downstairs and I see little Joseph with his gun up. Santa had his hands up. I say, little Joseph, you don't put that gun down right now. Santa didn't leave no presents this year. So, folks, if you listen to that story, you got some bad ass kids. Woo! Ass kids. Who don't like to sing Christmas carols, but they like to sing all the crazy, speaking in tongues, bad stuff. Then you know that Santa shouldn't risk his life coming down this chimney. He shouldn't. That's why he's got to go to the good kids' house. Folks, that's why we've got to nurture our kids. We've got to bless them with goodness, not badness. Goodness. Keep them around good stuff. Because Teresa's kids almost caught a case, but I saved them. If I wouldn't have been there as their daddy-in-law, who knows how this story would have turned out. Now, that's my story, folks. And I'm sticking to it, folks. Let's waste no time. Holly jolly, let's get to it. Woo! Story number 1. Teresa's kids. How big is sports, and why is this important? The sports world is big, folks. The gambling, the limelight, the players, and the pressure that comes along with every nail-biting moment. If you're wondering why this story made it in, it is because there are a number of people who will have some heartbreaking stories, especially around the holidays, when it comes to what happens on and out of the arenas. Now, over the years of gathering research, doctors are now engaging and changing the way sports is being played every day. But is this helping or hurting the brand? Now, sports analysts are a bit tired of this topic, but after yet more athletes died or are dead and many others left to form discussions, this story is staying alive. This story is important because the sports industry accounted for more than $71 billion in the U.S. in 2018. Most professional athletes make twice as much as public servants. CTE injuries and COVID-19 and a load of other concerns has kept major sports stories in the news. So story number 1 made in this week. Big headline. Story number 2. Are we losing our religion? One report by Fox News says that more Americans left their religion during the pandemic. Now, what got this story in is the simple fact that every year the interest in religion has declined and many churches have had to close. Around Christmas, this is a hot topic because a lot of people have never read the Bible still to this day, but claim that they're God-fearing people. Lord, bless the Lord. Now, and this alone has religious scholars not very happy about this, and many of them are fed up because they're trying to teach the gospel, but nobody's listening. Religion has been a lifesaver for a large number of people, including myself. Thank you, Jesus. Large people on the verge of death and life without religion, folks, for many would be meaningless. So religion has been a lifesaver for a lot of people, including the Mediator. Now, a story about atheists upset about Christmas wreaths being placed on veterans' grave sites is what got the story in. If you ain't religious, maybe you're a pharaoh, maybe you're a Muslim, maybe you're a Christian, maybe you're a Jew, maybe you're something other. Maybe you just don't care. But, folks, that's why story number 2 made it in this week around the holidays. Big headline. Believe in something. Story number 3, the marriage and relationship story. A USA Today article highlighting why people cheat during marriage, thus destroying everything that they worked for. Made headlines. Now, the sad part about the story is how many people have been bit by the marriage bug, bit bad. Now, this serious story has cost some people their life, therefore causing someone to put the headline out there by reporting on it. Now, the sad part about cheating seems to be the brutal damage left once it's discovered. So once you get caught, you better go running in your birthday suit. Now, a lot of innocent people have been caught in the crossfire of a bad marriage or relationship. That's why story number 3 made it in this week. Story number 4, what we need to know about the student loan discussion. Big headline. The major concern is debt, jobs after graduation, and is it worth investing in yourself at a high cost? Now, the student loan discussions continue, and not too many people have an answer for the growing education debt bubble that has the story staying alive. Now, the restructuring has now begun, with Navient now being moved over to Advantage, and Biden has already made moves to forgive some cases of public services, well, some cases of student loans by people who have done public service, who have disabilities, and loans that were mishandled by dissolved institutions. Now, if you are someone with massive student loan debt, then you're just a large number of people keeping this story alive and keeping an eye on the story too. And that's why story number 4 made it to the top. In the top 8 this week. Well, those are our top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with the top 4. So don't go anywhere. You're in the Mediator with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
The city of the city of
If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com, method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Folks, I went to this Christmas party some time back. My cousin had this Christmas party. I'll never forget it. I was single, and it was an ugly sweater Christmas party. And I came in, and my sweater, I had put a famous talk show host on it, Miss Winfrey. I know y'all remember. Name starts with an O. She played The Color Purple. I don't want to mention her name around the holidays because I love her. I still do. Well, I wore the shirt, and but I thought the shirt was beautiful, and everybody saw the name on the shirt, Miss Winfrey Show, and they looked at me, and I got excited because I just knew that this shirt was gonna cause a buzz, and I see my cousin's girlfriend. She was over in the corner with her Jerry curl juice, and they started putting on some crazy music around the holidays. Crazy. This was at a Christmas party. I mean, just shake that, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Start it on the bottom. And I couldn't believe it. I got upset. And I got up. Everybody said, Brian, why you getting up? You all right? I said, I got to go. They couldn't believe it. I left the Christmas party early. And I did it. Because I know that the only way you're going to get around Miss Winfrey and get on the Winfrey show, if she's still around, baby. You know I'm talking about you, baby. Man, you got to listen to Christmas carols. You got to be good. But not only do you got to be good for Santa, but you got to be good for Miss Winfrey. Oh, baby, you know what I'm talking about. You know I love you. And that's why I left the Christmas party early that year. And I had on my beautiful Winfrey sweater. Well, folks, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So let's waste no time, folks. Let's get to it. The vaccine debate is heating up. Story number 5. The vaccine debate is heating up. I can't lose my tagline, baby. There are 3 worlds fighting in the COVID-19 battle, folks. Now, one world sees reality and the fact that without production and sacrifice, the country cannot move forward. The second world is the victim, the person trying to get treatment, in which some people in this world, the second world, may know little about the treatment or may know little about the virus. Now, what is going on? Also, they may not know what's going on. Now, they may also seem helpless in this second world. Now, then there is the third world. These are the people who have who will have to enforce the laws of what they are being told by medical professionals. Now, they also have to gamble with the odds. The medical professionals who are enforcing these laws, they have to gamble with the odds of possibly being wrong. So this is the third world, all this stuff. Now, what has this story constantly trending is the fact that if people are still catching the virus after being vaccinated, then what is the point of being vaccinated? This is what's happening in this debate, and this battle is between 3 worlds, because some of these people have already been vaccinated, some of them haven't been vaccinated, and some of these people are enforcing the vaccination from these 3 worlds. Now, this one question of if the people are being vaccinated and they're catching the virus, and what's the point of being vaccinated, this one question is keeping the vaccine debate alive, and that's why story number 5 made it this week. Big headline. Story number 6. Inflation is still in the headlines, and that's not good. Market watchers are eyeing the inflation fight with Omicron, however you want to pronounce it, now reaching the United States. The job market and cost of living is staying in the headlines. Cost of living is getting high. The fight is, how do you make things affordable when there is high demand but less production? Now, what caused all of this are the shutdowns that had to be put on, and the continued delayed that took place in getting things back in motion after those shutdowns. Now, supply chains are also in this story, because suppliers have to get things on the shelf that people want to buy at an affordable price. Now, all of these factors are keeping the inflation stories in the headlines, and that's why story number 6 made it in this week. Almost made it to the top 2. Story number 7 in the top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made it in this week. Come on, Santa. Don't stop till you get enough. Come on, Santa. Don't stop till you get enough. Gotta get back to it. Jackson 5, Christmas. Story number 7. 800,000 deaths is a large number. So how are we doing in the battle with COVID-19? 800,000 deaths. That's a lot of people. Now, when you ask a person with common sense about COVID-19, that ain't stopping until it gets enough, you will notice that everyone seems to have a different cure for COVID-19. They can't stop until they get enough with the cures. Now, when you ask the professionals about COVID-19, you may notice that they also have more systematic cures. Now, at the end of the day, while everyone has a cure and a plan, 800,000 people have reportedly died from the virus. Now, the reality of this all is that this still ongoing story was all going on in the still ongoing story is the fact that nothing is working, and when nothing is working, cures are uncertain experiments. That means nobody knows if these experiments even work. Now, at the moment, the only data that seems to prove correct is that your chances of survival are high if you've already had or currently are strengthening your immune system. If you already have a strong immune system or if you're still strengthening it. Now, the only proven cure at the time seems to be strengthening the body's natural defense system. And that's why story number 7 made in this week. 800,000 people have fallen victim. And that's why story number 7 almost made it to the top this week. Big. Story number 8 and the top international headline and developing news story that made it in this week for you this Christmas. Fireside is blazing bright. How do you stop nature? Big headline. Tornadoes are nothing new, folks. They've been around since the beginning of time. Stopping them seems to be impossible. What got the story in is even with all of the world's technical advances, there still seems to be no way to stop nature's natural disasters from destroying people's lives. Now, what's keeping this story alive is the fact that tornado protocols may not have been followed, keeping the story in top headlines. Then there is the science. Warm air rises, causing a twister to hit the ground. But usually this happens outside of winter. So now we have another climate change debate brewing now. And I'll tell you this, and where there is a hypothesis in science, there are also, people also have to see the data to back up that hypothesis. And at the moment, it seems impossible to know what happened in America even before it was America. So that's what data is for, but nobody knows because sometimes ago people were not here. Now, what got the story in is the simple fact that the tornado was reportedly 3/4 of a mile wide and traveled more than 220 miles. Average tornadoes are 50 yards wide and travel only a few miles. More than 80 people are confirmed dead and many are still missing after 22 reported tornadoes hit the southern Midwest, with Mayfield, Kentucky getting hit the worst. That's why story number 8 made it to the top this week. Be thankful and pray for the families. Give what you can and try to think and never forget those lives that we've lost. To stay on guard, stay on alert, and always to practice safe habits. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local and international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out doing the research. As usual, I'd like to thank all the news outlets, the journalists, the people on the front lines, the media. You deserve all the credit. I'm just the media, the man in the middle. If you want to show us some support here at Method 8, it does not take much. All you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or to sponsor a program. Well, folks, have a good Christmas. Have a good holiday. I will be back probably on Christmas next week. So I'll see you again next week. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the media with me, Brian West. Merry Christmas. Peace.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.